I'm Adam Goldfein. Thank you so much for joining me. It is 7 minutes after the hour. I'm here with you every Sunday from 1 to 3 on News Talk WSB. I am really excited about today's program. I have two very esteemed guests here in studio with me. Jennifer Ammons, who is the General Counsel of the Department of Driver Services. Jennifer, welcome to the program.
Thanks, Adam.
And I also have William Bubba Head, affectionately known to those of us in the profession as Bubba. Thank you so much. You are a world-renowned, or actually at least a nationally renowned criminal defense attorney specializing primarily in driving under the influence matters.
Glad to be here.
It's a pleasure to have both of you here. I want to talk to you today about driver licenses, right? Everybody has one. The kids can't wait until they turn 15 to get their permit, and then 16 to get that initial license, and then eventually as the graduated licenses kick in. But there are times when you or I can run the risk of having our licenses suspended or even potentially revoked. And you are going to be shocked today to learn all the different ways your license can come under attack. Now, this is a unique opportunity. We've got one of the country's leading criminal attorneys in studio, and we have the General Counsel, who is also obviously an attorney for driver services here in studio. So, if you've got a question about driver's licenses, now is your opportunity to call 404-872-0750. The phone lines are open. We're going to be here until 3 o'clock talking about it. And I want to start off and I guess basically set the stage for us, okay? True or false, Jennifer, the right to drive is a right or privilege? Some would say it's a right. Is that a true statement, or is that a false statement? It's a privilege.
Legally, it's considered a privilege. There's a lot of case law that addresses this, where both on the state level and the U.S. Supreme Court has looked at it. We all have a constitutional right to travel,
right? But
that constitutional right to travel does not extend to a constitutional right to drive, and driving is considered a privilege that is governed by the state, all the states. We each handle it a little bit differently, but in Georgia, you need to have a driver's license to drive, and you need to drive safely if you want to hang on to that driver's license and continue to exercise that privilege.
And, you know, just basics for everybody. Legally, you're required to actually possess your license when you're operating a motor vehicle, right?
That's correct.
And what happens if the officer pulls you over and he asks for your license, you either refuse or don't have it?
If you don't have it, it is a violation of state law, but it's really a nominal citation that carries a very small fine. Typically, if the officer can check the status of your driver's license using information about you and using the Georgia Crime Information Center's information and the National Crime Information Center's information, if they discover that your license is valid, they may just issue you a warning. But you know, if they discover that your license is suspended or maybe it's expired and something like that, then there can be some consequences.
And talking about that, if you drive with a suspended or revoked license, big problem or little problem?
Definitely an immediate problem. Chances are you will not be driving away from the side of the road.
I think you will be, just in the back of a different car.
You'll be riding away.
You'll be riding away from the side of the road.
Right. Both driving with a suspended license, driving with a revoked license, that's something where typically you're going to end up going down to the local jail and having to post some kind of bond. Then you're going to get information about a court date, go to that court date. Anyone convicted of driving with a suspended license or driving with a revoked license is also going to be looking at additional driver's license consequences. So it's never a good idea to drive while your license is suspended or revoked.
Yeah, one of the things we'll try to do today is we'll try to put these conversations in a couple different buckets, right? There are going to be situations that apply specifically to minors, right? That the rules are a little more stringent and severe when we're talking about especially kids under 18, right? There are going to be certain rules there. We have for the rest of us who are non-commercial drivers, you kind of have a bucket over there for all of us who are just driving back and forth to work or school. And then you have your commercial drivers, your professional drivers on another side, and there are very stringent requirements there as well. So one of the things we'll do is we'll point out some of the things people should be aware of, but they have to understand that based on the behavior that we exhibit on the road, that privilege can be taken away.
Absolutely. Public safety and your security and the security of the other people out there on the road, pedestrians out there on the road, that's definitely going to be the first thing that DDS is looking at in the context of whatever consequences is going to result. Everything is based upon statutory provisions that the General Assembly has enacted,
Right.
and they're all geared toward remediating dangerous behavior.
Okay, so let's start right there. Dangerous behavior. There are going to be certain actions that if I do them, at a minimum, I'm going to get a violation, a ticket, that will probably have a fine associated with it. There will be a point system that will be racking up to see how dangerous I am, right?
Right.
And at what point do my points add up where they say you're out?
Well, like you're talking about the two buckets, really the trigger there is going to be the age of the person who's gotten the ticket. For your drivers who are under age 18, if they accumulate 4 or more points within a 12-month period, and that could be a single ticket, it could be multiple tickets, they're looking at a license suspension of at least 6 months. For your drivers who are under age 21, a single 4-point ticket like reckless driving,
Right.
improper passing of a school bus, aggressive driving, those are going to trigger at least a 6-month suspension. When you're talking about those of us who are 21 and older, it's 15 or more points accumulated within 24 months, and that calculation is based upon the incident dates.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what's going to push someone into a suspension when they're 21 or older. So you're looking at 4 to 5 to 6 tickets within a 2-year period there.
All right, so some people think, well, you know what, I can talk my way out of this. There is flexibility here. Biggest myth when it comes to driver's licenses, what would you say?
When it comes to the license suspension itself, there's really no talking your way out of any of it because it's all based in statute. It's all very mechanical, and if-then proposition. If you accumulate the points, then you suffer this consequence. Lots more flexibility when you're dealing with a ticket when it's still pending.
Mm-hmm.
As far as talking to the local prosecutor about some sort of mitigation of the consequences, maybe interacting directly with the judge. If it's a municipal court or something like that, where you're just appearing by yourself.
But the thing that I guess that strikes me, and not to be too technical, but I don't think that folks understand how the driver's license is intertwined with other things, right? So one of the things I'm going to want to get out today are how other crimes can impact your driver's license, how things you do or don't do that may not be having anything to do with driving. We're going to talk about some paying certain requirements, right? Some civil requirements. We'll talk about that, and then other actions, how they can be drawn in. So, for example,